What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Welcome back to hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. Welcome back to season 8, episode 10 of 90 Day Fiance. So let's start with Mike and Natalie. So Mike and Natalie, they're out. Natalie still wants Mike to go to therapy. Mike is like, I don't want to go to therapy. He was like, I don't feel like we need to waste money to go talk to somebody to tell us we need to learn how to communicate. I already know what the problem is. We don't know how to communicate with each other. We don't communicate well with each other. I don't really think we need to go to therapy. Now, Mike, I feel like y'all do need some therapy because y'all do have some sort of communication barrier. And it seemed like your mother coming in was able to help you guys knock through some things that y'all couldn't do by yourself. So I do think that it could help. I don't think it could hurt that you guys will go to therapy. So he goes to see his barber, who, we see him talking to her and telling her what's going on. And he opens up to her and shares some things with her and tells her about the therapy. And she said, well, it can't hurt. I mean, why not go to therapy? Because it can't hurt. At this point, you might as well go ahead and try. The worst thing that can happen is that you're right back where you started. So he kind of was like, well, I mean, I guess you're right. So he ends up going to therapy. Natalie makes the appointment. Of course, she's happy. Of course, she's, happy for it. And they go to therapy. And what ultimately comes out of the therapy is that Mike is like, listen, we're not in love anymore. And here's what lets you know how bad their communication is. Because what Natalie heard was, he doesn't love me. It's not what he said. He said that passion, that in love, that I want to spend the rest of my life with you, that's not there anymore. That's not there anymore. Now, I want to get it back. That's why I did let you come over. That's why I did, I am trying to work through this because I want us to get there. I want us to get back in love, but where I am right now and the way I feel right now, that's not how I feel. And it yeah, their communication just sucks. And that poor therapist was just sitting there like, oh, is that the breakthrough we were looking for? You know what I mean? Like, he was kind of like, oh, wow. So that was Mike and Natalie. Okay, Javi and Yara, listen. So, Jovi's mom is planning an engagement party for them. And she is like, listen, not only do I have no interest in an engagement party because my parents can't be here, and I done told this woman 5,000 times that I don't want to do nothing if my parents can't be a part of it and my family and friends can't be a part of it. But I am pregnant and all I want to do is sleep. I'm still nauseous. I still don't feel well. And let's be clear, on a good day, she ain't in a good mood, okay? When she's feeling perfectly fine, she has a nasty disposition. So much less that she feeling bad. So, then she meets his dad. And she hadn't met his dad because his dad has the same job that Jovi has. So when they went down there to meet his mom before, his dad was out on the water like Jovi goes. He's gone for 30 days or however many days. He's gone 2 weeks or whatever. So his dad wasn't there. So you got to meet the dad. And they end up having a couple of very interesting conversations. So one of the conversations, first of all, the mother lied and told Yara that the engagement party was going to be small, knowing she invited the whole damn town. She talking about something, we expecting about 50 guests. I would be pissed off too. I've already told you that I don't want to have a party. You plan a party anyway, then you lie to me about the fact that it's going to be a small, intimate affair, and it really ends up being 50 people. That's a big ass party. The dad asked her about, well, first the dad makes comments about how she dresses on Instagram and the types of clothing that she wears. Sir, that is not, sir. Not only is that not your place to speak on it, that ain't your business. If Jovi ain't got a problem with the way she dresses and the way she's on, I mean, she not naked. I mean, she got on bikinis and, she got on stuff that shows some skin. But Jovi clearly ain't got no issue with it. So then they go from that to asking her, "But do you like living in New Orleans?" And she was like, "No." And they go on to talk about how she don't want to live here. Matter of fact, she don't even know if she want to stay in the United States. Like, she'd be fine moving back to her hometown because this ain't all that she thought it was gonna be, and it ain't all that it's cracked up to be, and she don't have to stay in America. And I think that threw his parents off, because then his parents started talking about, well, isn't that what people do over there in your country? They get, American men to bring them over here. See, that's when I would have looked at Jovi and been like, I'm going home. I'm calling the Uber. Either you taking me or we calling the Uber. Because, like, that was so insulting. Now, granted, a lot of people are thinking it. I get it. But that was so insulting for them to be like, I mean, isn't that what you and your people do? Y'all just find ways to bring the women over? Child. Then, come to find out, Jovi and his dad end up going over to his friend's house to hang out and have drinks and leave her there at the house. Jovi, he said, well, it's been a while since I hung out with my friends and this, and this. You know what? I don't have a problem with Jovi hanging out with his friends. That ain't my issue. My problem is Jovi hanging out with his friends, leaving her at his mama house, who she's only met twice. You done already been away from this woman for weeks at a time. I'm like, Jovi, you. And of course his friends are giving him a hard time, and basically his friends are like, we taking bets on how long this is gonna last. Like, y'all not gonna stay together. She's only over here to get her green card. Da 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 da. They say, how long do you have to stay married to her before she don't have to worry about being sent back? He was like 3 years. They were like, well, that's how long you gonna be married. And the whole time they're saying these things to Jovi, he's like, little do they know she pregnant. She gonna be here for a while. Like she done solidified her place, And so I felt like, on one hand, I felt like it was kind of disrespectful. But on the other hand, I'm like, well, they being honest. Like, those are your friends. They telling you how they really feel. They being honest about the situation, So then they end up going back to the house and getting ready for the party. And they're getting ready for the party, and they end up getting into another argument. What the hell did they argue about this time, child? They stay arguing about stuff. Oh, she's mad because he left her there. She talking about something, all you care about is your booze. You're not ready to be a father. She wants to tell them that she's pregnant. And he was like, can we wait? Because, of course, he ain't ready to tell them, especially after the conversations that he done had that day with his parents and his friends. He is not ready to tell the world that she's pregnant. Because, of course, they're going to all be looking at him like, see, we told you. We told you. And so he was like, he said, first of all, we ain't even been to the doctor yet. And she was like, well, I can't go to the doctor for 3 months. I find that interesting. I get it that, I guess this was during COVID. I mean, I think this was before COVID, because I don't see them doing no COVID nothing. But usually you call the doctor and you think you say, I think I'm pregnant. I need to come and see the doctor. Those usually fall under that category of like emergency appointments, because they want to get you on prenatal. They want to get you on all that stuff as soon as possible. Like, if you're pregnant, the sooner the better. Why you gotta wait 3 months for a doctor's appointment to find out to take a pregnancy test to find out if you're pregnant? That didn't make no sense to me. Jovi was like, we haven't even been to the doctor yet, because I think in the back of Jovi's mind, he's still hoping that pregnancy test is wrong, and he want to get confirmation from the doctor, but he don't want to say it because he already know how much of an asshole it makes him sound to say, girl, you're not really pregnant. But I really think Jovi's thing is, until I'm confirmed in my spirit that this woman is pregnant, I don't want to say nothing to nobody about nothing. So they end up getting into another fight, and she ends up, calling him all kinds of dumbasses and so forth and so on. I don't know. Listen, word on the curb is that they still together. They done got married and everything else. I don't know how. Jovi, I don't. Child. All right. Tariq and what's my girl name? Tariq and I want to say Pearl, but that ain't her name, child. What's the girl name? Is it Rose? I feel like it's Rose. Anyway, so they're on lockdown. They are on full-blown COVID lockdown. Can't leave the house. And he said, I feel bad because all these things I had planned for us to do, we can't do any of it now because I'm planning for her, I mean, I was planning for us to go, but we stuck in the house, so we really can't do a whole lot. And so they end up hanging out or whatever, and we see where she's saying how she talked to her son, well, her son's stepmother. Her son lives with her, with his father and I guess his wife. She said, you know, he lives with them because she couldn't afford to take care of him. She didn't, you know. And the last time she had called home, he was, he was, had a fever. So, of course, COVID was running rampant through the Philippines. So, of course, she was worried that her son had COVID. And she was very upset. They end up calling him to check on him, and he's doing a lot better. He's feeling really, really good. The problem is they had planned to bring him to the United States within the year. But because of COVID and because everything being, you know, because of everything being pushed back, he's not sure now when they'll be able to bring her son over, because I mean, everything with them is getting pushed back. I mean, they still have to get married within that time period, but I'm sure work-wise and, you know, all the other plans that they had were kind of thrown off. So that was sort of what we saw with them. Ryan and Stephanie. Let me say this. I'm being real honest right now when I say this. The Ryan and Stephanie storyline for me is starting to kind of piss me off a little bit. So in this episode, we see Stephanie and Ryan, they're getting along, they're hula hooping on the beach, she's showing him how to hula hoop. They're having a really, really good time. They're actually having fun together, right? Then they go to have a conversation and they end up talking about money. And she is throwing this money in his face. So she's one of those people that she's been using what she's been doing for him and his family, and using the money that she's been spending and giving his family basically as a tool and as a weapon, and as something to hold over their head. So her and Ryan had gotten into some sort of argument, and she said to Ryan, well, if that's how you feel, then I'm going to call your mother and I want her to send me that money back that I sent her. I want her to pay me back. First of all, you know good and damn well them people ain't got that money to pay you back. Let's start there. They don't have no money to pay you back. That's first of all. Second of all, how you giving money and then asking for it back? What kind of shit is that? Third of all, so she ended up blocking her, right? She was like, well, your mom blocked me. And he was like, yeah, because my mother didn't appreciate you threatening her like that. You know, because of course, you know, he called his mom and let his mama know what she said. And she said, well, I wasn't talking about all the money. She said, how much money? She said, how much money do you think I've given you over the years? And he was like, I don't know. She said, it's been many, many thousands of dollars. And I was like, girl, I was like, Ron, if you don't leave that woman alone, if you don't, because see, she playing them old, I don't want to turn this into a racial thing, but she's really holding over his head all these things that she has done for him. And let's be clear, Ryan might be a user. I don't know. But it sounds to me like she's giving him a lot of unsolicited stuff. All that stuff she bought him, I mean, I don't remember him asking for it. I mean, I don't know what kind of conversations they have and shit. I don't know. And she said, well, I didn't want all the money back. I just felt, you know, like the last time I sent her money, she didn't even call me to say thank you. I mean, she could have at least called and acknowledged that I gave her the money. She could have at least said thank you. I just feel like that was very rude of her to not call and thank me when I sent her the money. I mean, she didn't even acknowledge that she got it. So I wasn't asking for all the money back. I was just asking for the money back that she got from me that she couldn't acknowledge she got. You know what? You're right, Stephanie. She should have called and thanked you. But it's funny how you only remember that stuff when y'all arguing. It's funny how you only offended when you mad at him. It's funny how you feel some kind of way when there's a problem between the two of y'all. So then they get up to leave to go back to the room because she like, yeah, because I still ain't got me none. So you owe me. Really? That's what we doing now? So he owe you sex? Why? I mean, let's be clear. If I hadn't seen my boyfriend for 10 months and we ain't getting in the first night, I would feel some kind of way about it too. But he doesn't owe you anything. He doesn't owe you sex. So now he owe you sex? So then she was just like, So then we saw them going back to the room, and then like fast forward like 4 hours later, they had gotten into this huge argument. He ends up leaving, and he was like, "My cab is waiting for me." And she says, "With what money?" See, you're not going to keep using money as a weapon against me. She actually had the nerve to ask that man, "With what money?" I said, "Oh, this hooker." And do y'all know what she ended up doing? Y'all know what she ended up doing? Calling the cousin after he left, talking about, "I need to talk to somebody. Can you come over?" Stephanie, I see you, girl. I see you, Stephanie. Oh, I see you. And if y'all don't see Stephanie, baby, y'all better pay close attention. Andrew and well, it really was just Andrew. We didn't see the fiance in this episode. He's leaving the resort after 2 weeks, after he done had all the fun in the world and went freewheeling and had steak dinners and massages and all kinds of stuff, honey. And he's leaving, acting like he's so sad to be leaving without his fiance. Boy, you wasn't thinking about that woman all this time. His mother picks him up from the airport, and he immediately starts talking to his mother about how they're going to have to do it all over again, and they're going to have to go through Serbia, and this, and this. And you can see the look on his mother's face. His mother is so not here for it. His mother is like, "Well, I really wish that, you you would find another way to do this, because I just hate to see you keep spending your money and keep going through this. Like, this is a lot, And he starts talking to her about how, it's for her, it's really easy to go to Serbia. Like, that's not as hard or as dangerous as it would have been to coming through, Mexico. And, excuse me. And he's like, "Well, I'm desperate to find another way. I'm desperate to get her here. And if I could figure out something else, I would." And his mother was like, "Listen, if she wants to go through Serbia, that's fine. But I'm just not, that's just not what I'm ready to do." She was like, "I just don't think you should waste the money." And he was like, "Well, right now, she's not even really wanting to discuss it because she's still dealing with some trauma." You think she's dealing with some trauma, sir? Then we see where he had like all these gifts and stuff set up for her at his house. Because, of course, in anticipation that she would be coming back home with him. Which was cute and sweet and all of that good stuff. But at the end of the day, boy, if y'all leave that woman alone. What you need to do, here's the option you need to look into. The option you need to look into is calling the embassy, finding out what the extension policy is under the current circumstances. Because again, I refuse to believe that under COVID circumstances, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, that they wouldn't extend these visas. People, I don't understand how the clock starts in a situation that you can't compete. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that the visa clock starts and y'all can't even travel. How you gonna get married and the people can't even get to the United States? It's different if they're choosing not to come, or they don't have the money to buy the ticket and they don't come. They literally are not allowed to come. I don't understand how the clock starts. So those are the options you need to be looking into, sir. Look into the option that involves you contacting the embassy to get an extension. All right. Zaid and Rebecca. He's still missing home. He's really missing his family. He's really feeling very isolated because, of course, she works a lot. He's home by himself a lot. He ain't got nothing in that damn apartment because she ain't even been back to the storage unit to get nothing out of storage. She said they got a mattress. They don't even have a bed, honey. They got a mattress. They ain't got no couch. That shopping cart is probably still sitting in the middle of the damn living room for all I know. But they're going to go out to dinner with her daughter's fiance and their friends. Zaid is a little apprehensive about it because, of course, he knows that none of them like him. And he's like, I don't know how much longer I can kind of do this whole scrutiny. He's talking to his sister saying, I don't really know how much longer I can do this whole scrutiny thing. Like, I feel like I have to constantly prove myself and prove to them that I'm not her husband, or I'm not going to do her like her ex-husband did. And they won't let us just be in our relationship. So they go out to dinner, and some of his friends are there. And there's this young lady who keeps asking him all these different questions about, you know, the difference between America and Tunisia, and would this be acceptable? Is that acceptable? And so, you know, Rebecca already feeling a little jealous. Okay, she see her, and she feeling a little jealous in her spirit. And she like, you know, I see her flirting with my man. I see her flirting with my man, and and so he says, you know, he's talking to her or whatever. And so then Rebecca says something about, you know, he can't work right now, but maybe he can go to the storage unit and get some of the stuff out of storage during the day. And the girl volunteers to help him. The girl was like, listen, my family has a company that has flatbed trucks. Maybe I can help you move some of the stuff, you know, help you get some of the stuff. And he was like, yeah, sure. Baby, what he say that for? Baby, Rebecca was like, you know what you just agreed to do, right? You know what you just agreed to do. And he was like, what? What you mean? And she was like, you agreed to be alone with her. And he was like, oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And she gonna say, well, so her daughter was like, well, I don't think she meant any harm by it. Like, you getting mad, and I don't really think she meant anything by it. And he was like, well, no, that's not. She said, well, no, you know, he's Muslim, and, you know, there are very strict rules about what he can and can't do. Girl, it's strict rules about y'all having premarital sex, but y'all doing it. It's strict rules about him having tattoos, but you went and bought him some temporary tattoos because he liked your tattoos. There's a whole lot of rules that he ain't following. Girl, if y'all don't get that shit out of storage so your apartment can look like a home instead of a warehouse, I said. But see, because what it really boils down to is that you were really in your feelings because you feel some kind of way because you know that you're older. And this young thing was flirting with your man. Now, was she really flirting? I don't know if she was flirting or just being real, real nice. But at the end of the day, you looking to give to us in the face. Y'all better get that shit out of storage. You could have just as easily had your son-in-law ride with them and help them out. But instead, you done made everybody mad and everybody kind of giving you the side eye like, girl, if you don't stop being so jealous all the time. And anyway, y'all, that's Rebecca and Zaid. And I think that's it. That's all for this episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.